And he says, each one's work will become clear, for the day will declare it, because it will be revealed by fire. The inspectors that came because they looked at the hole. They measured the depth of it. Then they looked at the content of the dirt. They did soil samples. Once they dug for the foundation, then they brought in a drilling device and went down so many feet even deeper than that to find out what kind of earth is below this. And then once the rebar was trucked in and craned in and put in place, inspectors were out there with their measuring tape and with their laser devices. And they were making sure that every piece was where it needed to be, tied the way that it needed to be tied, welded the way that it needed to be welded. And then they were there the day the concrete was poured, because you saw the temperature by the frozenness of my face, the Starbucks coffee in my hand, and Matt Gibson, our cameraman, who was just one big human icicle standing there behind the tripod. There's a certain consistency of the concrete that it needed to be in order for it to be dependable and sure. All these inspectors came, one after the other, after the other, after the other, before anything was ever constructed. And you know me, I'm thinking, just build the cell tower. Just get it done. Come on. No. If we build without the right foundation, what you are building is going to crumble. Last week we talked about the home. We talked about fathers. We talked about if someone builds the home on someone other than Jesus Christ, if someone other than the Lord builds the home, those who are laboring and those who are working are doing so in vain, Psalm 127. But today we shift from the home and we turn our attention to your soul. Because there are many who are building their life on great things, thinking that those things are going to get them to heaven. And the scripture says right here, if anyone builds on this foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, or straw, each one's work will become clear, for the day will declare it. It will be revealed not by an inspector who's going to look at your life here and now. Not by somebody who's going to be a critic and is going to look at your life and judge you on how you dress, how you act, how you talk, what church you go to, and what Bible version you use. No, no, no. It's going to be revealed by the one who is the judge, the one who is the almighty sovereign Lord, the one who is just, the one who is right, the one who sits on the throne, the one who has been receiving our worship today. He will test it by fire. And it says that right here, and the fire will test each one's work of what sort it is. If anyone's work which he has built on, it endures, you will receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned, he will suffer loss, but he himself will be saved, yet so as through fire. I want us today to ask the question, upon what foundation is your salvation? Upon what foundation is your salvation? And so in order for us to consider these thoughts, I want us to consider this, and that is the different types of foundations that people choose to build upon. And that would be, first of all, the type of foundation that involves gold and silver. In this passage right here, it says in verse 12, if anyone builds on the foundation with what I want to call wealth. There's some people who think that the more they acquire, the better they're going to be in eternity, as if they can take it with them. They think that if I can just work more, have more stuff, have more money, maybe it isn't that they want to acquire more. Maybe it is through the process of giving more. We want to be generous. And Lord, one day if I stand in front of you and you say, why should I let you into heaven? I'm going to look at you, Lord, and I'm going to say, well, look at all those people I helped. Look at all those organizations to which I gave. Look at all those times I filled out that offering envelope in church and gave it. These are all wonderful things to do. They will not get you to heaven. It's a foundation that will burn. All the works that we do here on earth, that God does through us, for those you will be rewarded. All the things that you do in the flesh, all the things that I do because it's about me, those things will burn. And when it comes to your salvation, all the work that you do to try to acquire and achieve forgiveness from God in your works, it will burn. But Lord, didn't we prophesy in your name? But Lord, didn't we heal people in your name? But Lord, didn't I go to church every time the doors were open? But Lord, did I not give to this and to that and to this person and to that person? Lord, did I not do this and do that? And Lord, was I not a good person? And he's going to say, depart from me, because I never knew you. But God, I was in youth group all the time. Lord, I invited friends to activities. God, I showed up and I volunteered. I showed up, I signed up, I paid up. Lord, I was the perfect religious person. And what he's going to do is he's going to say, and just like it says to us in verse 11, for no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid in Jesus Christ. If you think that your forgiveness of sin is based on wealth, somehow you think that you are a good person because you have good things, your foundation is not right. But not only does it address wealth, it says gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, and straw. We think of wealth being those things that are expensive. But there are people who do not have all the expensive things, but what are they trusting in? The things that would represent the have-nots of our society. Maybe they're not trusting in things that are gold and silver and precious stones. Maybe they aren't trusting in their job. Maybe they aren't trusting in the fact that they have a big bank account. What are they trusting in? Other people are not trusting in their wealth. What they're trusting in is their health. If I can just make my body better, and we're all for that. I have plenty of fat cells I could get rid of myself. I have plenty of muscle. I heard that if you don't get in shape before you're 40, then your muscle starts deteriorating, right, Angie, after you turn 40. She told me that like 2 years ago. I'm just a few months away from 40, and I'm just now starting to think, I think I better get busy. And after those 3 softball games yesterday, I'm thinking, it's too late. It's not going to happen before I'm 40. So I'm settling for the muscle deterioration track. Health. Everybody worships themselves. We don't call it idolatry, but we idolize ourselves. I mean, come on now. How long did you stand in front of the mirror this morning? We just got quiet, didn't it? Well, Pastor Joe, we just want to look nice. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people need to spend a little more time in front of the mirror. I can't see this bald spot behind me, so I have to try to turn a certain way, and it's going to show no matter what I do to it, so why worry about it? We idolize ourselves, and you find that in these fitness places. You find that in the way that our culture, our society says, if you can become a better person. Well, how do I do that? Well, you become a better person by having more stuff. You become a better person by being physically fit. Nothing wrong with having stuff, and there isn't anything wrong with being physically fit, but it is not the foundation that will save your soul. What about relationships? Well, I know all the right people. I know people who can pray. I know people, someone would say, who write Christian books. I know people who lead worship. I know people who go to church. I know people. Your salvation isn't about knowing people. Your salvation isn't about knowing a person whose name is Jesus. Those people are not going to be the foundation for your soul, just like your wealth cannot be the foundation of your soul. And your health cannot be the foundation of your soul. For the scripture itself says, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? What does it profit you to have all the money in the world, and when you die, you cannot take it with you? What does it profit a man if he gains all the health and all the vitamins and all of the physique and all of the stuff that this world can perhaps offer him and all that his exercise or her exercise can offer her, but yet when they die, that body goes back to the ground?